And here we go. So 4 versus 4. Skirmishes. Alrighty, just going to grab our usual sorting up the top here, just keep things all nice and neat and orderly. And we're going to have team 1 up here at the top, team 2 down here at the bottom. And Skirmishes, curiously, when it's a 4x4, it has this almost like it's supposed to be a 5v5 and there's been a spawn removed. So you have a 2v1 on this side and a 2v1 that side. The question is, who helps who here? Like, do you trust this guy to try and survive against 2 players there? They do. Does the mid help out on the left hand side? You know, it's interesting. It's interesting. Anyway, introducing the players. First off, for team number 1 over here up the top left hand side in the orange color, it is Eldarian. Eldarian is working away on some PGs because look, where is the hydro? There is no hydro, but there's plenty of mass to reclaim. So yeah, gonna need those PGs. Right beside him, supporting him in Aeon, it is Rectimus Prime. And Rectimus Prime is working on his PGs as well. You see that is all queued up. Third player for team number 1 up here in the middle peninsula spot, it is Dick Butt Incorporated, and he's a second Aeon player, and he's in the lovely burgundy color there. And finally for team number 1, rocking out on the top right hand side, bright red, Mikufan, who is Seraphim. So no UEF for team number 1. We have 2 Aeon, 1 Cybran, 1 Seraphim. Let's go say hello to team number 2. First off, team number 2 down here, bottom right corner, a next Seraphim player, it is Super Yupa. Super Yupa has been assigned the lavender color, and he's working on something. Beside him, another Seraphim, this time it's OGWPI Outreach. Probably just going to call him PR. I don't know, but he's Seraphim, he's Cyan. And see, he's got the PGs going, and he's got the reclaim going for those engines already in the peninsula slot for team number 2. Aeon player, it is Bliss. And Bliss is quite blissfully away. There's got a air factory down, a land factory, and he's working on some more PGs going to that. Why has he paused that so close to being finished? That's just going to deteriorate away and be a waste of resources. Unpause it, you fool. There we go. It was so close to being done. And finally for team number 2, bottom left all by his lonesome, it is Macedon, who's another Seraphim in the light blue color. So team number 2 has 3 Seraphims and 1 Aeon, so not a lot of racial diversity for those guys, just 2 factions to pick from and only 1 Aeon, but we'll see how they're going to go with that kind of thing. So Skirmishes, reclaim is not a huge amount, there's just a little bit around the edges at the start to try and jumpstart your early eco, which you kind of need to do, and lots of water. There's also a bunch of islands with some extra mixes in the middle. If you can get a drop on these, perhaps you can get some extra eco. But then you need to defend it, and you can't really deal with that. Got some early navy by the look of it. The factory is up for Rectimus Prime. There's also a factory over here from Mikufan, and it's already starting to build itself a frigate, so that's going to be a bit of an annoyance. Unless, there we go, there's also a frigate coming along for OG. PR, Outreach, I don't know what to call them. I think OGW might be his clan, so we'll try not to call him that. But anyway, old PR down here's got 2 factories, and they are starting to pop out some units. He's being supported by his teammate over there. Super Yupa is still building his first factory, but he should be okay, although we have a wee bit of harassment. No, just scouting. There's the harassment. T1 bomber coming out from Bliss. Gonna find himself some targets. Boom, 2 engines killed before they can finish the PGen. And now it carries on looking for more targets, like another engineer. 3 engine kills for this bomber is having a grand old time, and there's nothing around to stop it. This could be a tasty target. 4 engineers all clumped together. Has it been spotted? The answer is yes, the bomb's away. They're not moving. Oh dear. 4 kills and the deny of a pigeon that just started to be built. 7 kills for that bomber. Another bomb away and 12 kills. That is 12 engineers killed by this guy. That is a huge start from that bomber. The question is, can it get away from that Sky Slammer? It is on 30 health. It could do. Maybe it's going to pick up 1 more Engie. No, I'm going to rock on past. Wonder if there was a scout, but either way, that is 12 kills. Going to pick up maybe a couple more here if I can drop a bomb off, unless the interceptor swings back around on it. Looks like it is pulling, looking for a target. I'm hearing some more fighting, just a couple of frigates having a wee skirmish over there. Was going to go for a mass extractor, but finally the NT comes down, so hero bomber right there. Start of the game, 12 engineer kills. mad delay for the opponents, but even with that, it's still been Team 1. Eldarian has dropped this little island here. He's got a radar down, he's working on a hydro and an anti-air turret. Don't know if that is the right thing to start with. Maybe should have started by grabbing the reclaim. Get that before your opponents do, and things like this happen. Both engineers dead from a single bomb. The anti-air turret has not completed, and well, nothing doing. That's the end of that little wee drop for Eldarian. So a bit of extra mass to reclaim once somebody else drops there. There we go. This is Macedon with a drop, and he's got a lot of engines on that. So the question is, can he get that down before the Inti turns up? The Inti looks like it's locked onto the bomber. There we go. It is curving around. So the bomber's going to not get away. It's going to die. It's got 3 kills though. 2 engines and a radar, so it's still useful, especially as it denied the expansion. And now Macedon with 4 engineers can look at getting himself established there. Right, Interceptor comes over, takes a few pot shots of the transport. Is going to be able to kill it, but you know, it's not going to matter because the engineers are already on the ground, and that's going to be absolutely fine. Defending Intis come out, and they're going to knock that one away. Along comes the bomber. Is it going to be able to kill all 4 is the question. Not like that. It's not. 2 engineers survive. They aren't finishing off the air defense though. Maybe they need to think about splitting, but that is fine as far as they're concerned. Over on the right hand side, Navy's having to go at each other. Frigate sinks down from Nukapan. It runs into a couple of submarines, which I have no answer for, and frigates as well. So going to be, even if they kill off the frigates, the 2 subs are just going to be doing free damage against those guys. No defense they have for that kind of thing. Another drop along the way. I say a bunch of NGs. That's not the best spot for them to go down. But is that going to be another drop attempt for the island? No, it's not. Rectimus Prime decides, no, my NGs will not survive going down there. Trying to finish off the air defense again, maybe, question mark? Nope. Going for the mass extractors, and there we go, grabbing the reclaim. Although I think he misclicked, was going for the nice big drop, but didn't. Now it's just sitting there. Alright, let's have a look at the midsection. We have a wee bit of an air fight going on over here. That looks like it's going to be quite easily held by Mukapan, but retreating, doesn't need to be there for any particular reason. No bombers, nothing else, and running away in the face of another air wing coming in here from Macedon. On the other side we have a bunch of T1 anti-air just loitering around in case of another bomber. Left hand side Navy, we see this frigate is about to go down courtesy of a pair of frigates and a submarine. T1 bomber flies on past. Is it going to actually make it is the question. 20 health. It is 8 health. One sneeze and that thing's going to fall out of the sky. There's the sneeze. And here we go. The island is in command by Macedon. He has grabbed the mass extractors. Now they do take 50 mass to build. They give 2 mass per tick, so they need to survive for 25 seconds to be useful. And the thing is, they're pretty low. But T1 Navy still can't quite get it owing to the height of the cliffs. So you've got to get some T2 Navy onto that. They're just not going to be able to do a thing. Over on the right hand side, and go right to the edge though. Navy can shoot onto that lip, especially if you're under the edge. Just hanging, ignoring the laws of physics. Sorry, it really is. They're just sitting there ignoring the laws of physics, just hanging off the edge. I know they're hover, but come on, that's just ridiculous. Right. Navy left hand side, that's a bunch of subs and a jester coming out to say hello to those engineers, and that means this guy's not going to survive. It's going to take a while for the jester to get anything done, but that will still be able to clear the island free of any kind of disruption or air coming its way. Nope, no air coming out there. Wonder what happened to the air wing. Used to have a bunch of interceptors. I think they chased these guys down and got wiped off. Defending Intis coming on over here from Rectimus. Looks like it's going to just act as a wee bit of a fighter screen to block and keep that jester alive. It's going to finish off the mass extractors, maybe too little too late. And now Navy is pushing up into the middle section of the side and supported by Hover. So annoying out on Hover. Hey, there could have been Zuis. They could have been dropping their artillery shells onto these factories and doing some mega damage, but still, roars are more than nothing, and the extra firepower is going to make issues for Macedon, who is currently fighting a 2v1 battle, trying to survive as best as he can. He's got a few units in, but the sub's going to get killed by 2 other subs, And he's got some problems. How's things going on the other side of the map? Well, we can see here it is actually Macedon has done a reasonable job, and a double drop over here. That's a lot of Zuis. Transports and Zuis, and everything's all down and moving. Transports die horrible deaths, units dying horrible deaths, and these Zuis are just going to be able to wipe this island clean as long as the micro is real. And well, there's no engineers left, so if they kill the factory, that will be reasonable enough, but they got to keep moving, else they will die to their opponents using Zuis, and that's exactly what's happened. They sat still just for a moment too long, really wanted to kill the factory. That has been successful, but now what? Okay, submarines here, focusing down on the naval factory here. Just want to kill that off before I'll get rid of production. But there's still more factories around the place. Another 4 are available for Macedon, so he'll be okay for the time being. There's been another drop up this way. This time it has been from PR. The issue is the commander is around. Will they be able to kill off that T2 PG? Yes, they will. That's going to go pop, and it's going to take a T2 engineer with it. So Dickbutt was working on a shield, and I say was because, well, artillery takes care of those. Now he has to rebuild that PG. He's going to have to watch out for more drops. Indeed, looks like he's moving his commander up that way to take care of it. Okay, right hand side, and how's the Navy looking? Well, again, this is Macedon, although having said that, there is Navy in the water from Dickbutt, so he's joined in to help over the side, got a small contingent of forces there, and it is still just the 1 versus 2 on the left hand side, and Macedon is really having a hard time. Don't blame him, 2 versus 1 is not good odds. What's happening in the middle? Well, this is Bliss, he has got T2 Air Factory, working on eco a wee bit. I don't really see him with much no combat units. He does have an air wing over here to help things out, but in the grand scheme of things he can't make a lot of difference to a ground battle. Let's have a check. Right hand side, another drop. This time it is down from Super trying to get those NGs into play, but already there is Macedon as well as some T1 bombs coming along, and they're going to stop those NGs in their tracks. He's going to keep a hold of this island, and basically that's a bit of a mass donation. Well, it would have been if it didn't bomb it all into oblivion. Trying to have a bit of a navy fight here. Well, I say a bit of a navy fight is a much larger force from PR and Super. Falling back a wee bit is Macedon. Over on the left hand side, quick glance of what's happening there. This is, well, there we go. This is Macedon. He's trying to do something, but he's running afoul of Hopper and Navy. But it's kind of dropped back to a 1 versus 1 at the moment. And why is that? Because somebody is getting himself some tech. And I see a reclaim. He's reclaiming the T1 PGs around behind there. Looks like he's wanting to get into some tech and do a bit extra. But hello. What's going on here? Another drop from PR trying to take care of some of these max extractors behind the scenes. Looks like he managed to kill 1, 2 and almost 3 just by being dropped there, and did a bit of a move over. So good work on that front. Our right hand side, Navy's looking okay. Those split forces here from Super and PR, they need to loiter together because that's exactly what their opponents are doing. You have Dickbutt and Macedon, they're just keeping their forces near each other, and that is going to give them an advantage. Then again, along comes PR, he is paying attention and gets the support in. Over this side, what is going on? Well, we have a Wulthu doing his thing, killing off engineers up this direction. A transport that is carrying nothing. It's just nice to land, and that seems strange. Wulthu getting the job done though, and now going for the mass extractor back in the ocean. It is just a few handful of frigates against similar numbers plus all the hover, so that is dangerous for Macedon, has to be careful. And here we go, a bit of a navy run by. This is Super and Outry. They have just decided, fuck it, we're just going to push, and they kind of need to because that's a T2 naval factory. They cannot afford to let that get up. They want to kill off all the build power before the factory itself. The build power is what is going to actually help this little unit finish. The question is, there enough? Well, there's a bunch of submarines and they may be able to take that down, although there is a torpedo launcher being built. The frigates are done. redirect some of those torpedo bombers, submarines, trying to get the torpedoes to hit the units, but it's not working. And there's a lot of that going. Some T1 torpedo defense has been finished. That is going to be close as the question, who's going to die first, the factory or the units at this rate. Now the repair order is going down, that factory is going to survive, and all of these units are dead, because there's also been a T2 sub come along from Dickbutt, and that is a survived naval factory. Really maybe wants to get his frigates onto all this build power. If he killed all that off, he might have stood a chance, but as it is, the Navy survives, the repair order is going strong, and it's going to finish off, and you have T2 Navy in the water, completed for Mikufan, which is going to be a problem, because there's only one T2 factory down here for Super, and PR does not have any T2 Navy. So it's double T2 Navy on the right hand pond. For team number 1 we have still just Tech 1 in the left hand pond for team 1, whereas we have tier 2 down here for Macedon. He still has that 2v1 issue at this stage. If we can manage to hold on, it's going to be well worth it. Check it up in the middle. Well, we know that over here Dickbutt has got himself T2 Navy, and I see cruisers. Oh, that's an irritation for these guys, and it kind of doesn't matter. The cruiser is going to be able to just walk straight on in and start doing some extra damage. Not too helpful for team number 2. What have they got to slow it down? Well, not much. What's that? That's a TAC missile. Is it going for the HQ? Well, I'm sure it would have been going for the HQ if it wasn't for this cruiser's timely arrival. That TAC missile, it would have got stuff done. There we go though, it's launching out another. Is it now going for mass somewhere? Oh, I think it is. That would be a TAC missile coming on in, and they're not going to get to finish that volcano before that missile arrives. Although this one going back here is going to impact on some shields, I think. Yes, impacts on shield, and that is nothing doing there. That was a waste of attack. This one was just unfortunate. They would need a couple to kill off the HQ, but the cruiser, very unfortunate timing. Okay, left hand side, and here comes the Navy. This is a huge swarm of T1 that's running hard at Macedon, who's also put his own tech launcher over here. It's got a couple of kills, so it's hit something. Maybe it's taken out some factories. Uncertain, but other than that, the Navy is not looking great. Pushing a destroyer forwards might not be the best idea. I think there's just a bit too much for it to take on. Honestly, there's far too much for it to take on, to be honest. It shouldn't be up that way. Maybe we can take out some of those and the subs, get some kills, get some ranks of veterancy, and do some good. But the tech is holding for the moment. There's still plenty coming on in over on the right hand side, and this looks like a complete and utter run through by team number 1. Dickbutt's units are charging on in. There are some T2 torpedo launchers though, and they will do quite handily for these subs. They're going to die horrible deaths. The question is, how long can they survive in the face of T1 spam and T2 submarines? Well, the answer is focus the subs down and they should be fine. Yeah, kill off the T2 subs and they will be alright. Plus a destroyer is out from Super Uber, so he's got T2 Navy, he's got some T2 torpedo launchers. Don't often see these, it has to be said. Most people stick with the mobile navy and do not bother with the torpedo launchers, but these guys have done alright themselves. They've held off these forces long enough that they have managed to survive down into the red. This one here has got a rank of veterancy, so 2,500 mass destroyed by that. Question is, how much of the cost to build? I wonder. Let's find out. Can't find out from that guy because he's T1. Here's some T2 NGs. Out of curiosity. Right, 1,000 mass built to build, and it's killed 2,500, so it has absolutely paid for itself. Both of them have, in fact, 2,500 between them. That was very useful there. Hello, T3 Air. So Bliss has grabbed himself in the T3 air gun. Let's have a look at the opponents. Has anybody got T3? Nope. Nope, T2 here. T2 over there. The closest to T3 is actually land coming out from Dickbutt. You might be able to do something with that, who knows. And T1 air over there, so this T3 air is going to be a massive advantage if they can make it count. And there's T3 airships coming out from Aldarian. He's seen the ASFs over his base and is like, yeah, no, let's not have that happen. Still planning ASFs here, although the next unit out looks like it is going to be a strat bomber. This would be great if you can get that. It has the potential to do a lot of damage. All of these exposed mixes, they can have their attack defense if they want, but it's not going to make a lick of difference when you have a strat bomber come over here and start doing the damage. Alrighty. Yep, strat is 50% down. I'm going to try and keep an eye on that. Over on this side here comes the Navy once again. This is Macedon pushing in, and here we go. Cruiser doing the deed against the torpedo launchers. Very sad. Needed some TMD here, but he's got no T2 engineers in the area to do exactly that. And along comes the Navy swarm from Macedon. It might be mostly T1, but there's a couple of T2 mixed in there. There's a single destroyer going to try and have a defense, but everything is doomed. No TMD, so those tech launchers have on the back of the cruiser have done the business, and now more Navy coming in. So that is going to be PR and Super Uber out of the water. Absolutely not going to make it. These naval factories simply will not survive long enough to do anything. Have a quick look at the left hand side rather, and we can see, well, this has been Macedon holding on okay. What has happened to that strat bomber? Not got built. There it is. Not being utilized just yet. There's a transport luring interceptors over flak, and that is a massive death. Their whole wing of interceptors from Macedon have been taken out. They were trying to kill off the T2 transport, but it simply did not work. And still that strat bomber is just sitting on the ground. It's running out of time to be able to be effective because that T3 upgrade is 3/4 done. Or Darien. I'm really surprised it hasn't already been used. There's so many targets that it could go for. And nobody, especially over here, and nobody has T3 air. It is just bliss, and the longer that strat sits, the less useful I feel like it's going to be. But he's currently focusing on some torpedo bombers because, well, they need a response to this. They're out of the Navy on the right hand side, and there we go. Are these attack missiles? Oh, did they hit the unit that was constructing? Oh my word, how unlucky can your aim be? So that was from the tech launcher belonging to Bliss, and he wanted to kill the HQ, but the tech missile that came in, it wasn't from a cruiser. I believe it was from that, trying to take it out. That's the unit that was constructing instead. There we go. So the torpedo bombers are overhead now, and they're going to have a focus down upon the destroyers, as you should do. Take out the T2 with those, and that will help life a lot. Over the side you can see it is, the hover is getting brutalized by the destroyers. They are just ripping them apart, as they should. These Auroras are pretty tinfoil, and the destroyers should just munch them quite happily. More torpedo bombs out. They are carving up this Navy, and still the strat bomber waits. Now it goes somewhere, and how just a little too late. There's an ASF out from Eldarian, so he's held on to that strat for a very long time, and looks like it's going around to the right hand side to potentially do things. Alright, ASF is joining up with a bunch of interceptors over this side. That's not going to be terribly helpful. Let's see how many ASFs. Well, he's got plenty. Bliss is well ahead in the air game at the moment. Still, there's the strat. So there it is. It's going for what it can. There's an ASF cleaning up the torpedo bombers. Want to use your air, Bliss? You got those ASFs. Use them. Help defend, because now you're about to lose. Your strat's going to get one run. Pulls up a couple of T2 PGens, but swinging around for another pass. It's not going to make it. There we go. It's down. Really needed to keep your ASFs with that, or use it a heck of a lot earlier. I'm just surprised that strat sat for so dang long. Really could have been utilized much earlier and done a lot of damage, but Waiting so long, it allowed Aldarian to get into the T3 air game. Still doesn't have a T3 PGen, which is going to be causing him some suffering, I would imagine. Well, he's got a good amount of power. Control K is a bunch of T1 PGens. Oh no, it looks like he's actually generating more power than I thought. I must have Raz. Yeah, there you go. He's got Raz on his comm. There we go. So he's holding up with that. Okay, right hand side, and it's still air versus navy over here. These guys are trying to do something. PRC is 288. 288 what exactly? Don't know. I'm sure he has a reason for it. Over this side though, the navy is struggling. It is definitely an issue for Macedon. He's got not much in the water. He's got some cruisers back here, but they're no good against submarines. They'll take a good punishment from there. Although, ground fire with tech missiles? They kind of look like a ground fire with tech missiles to try and take out submarines. But it doesn't matter in the long run because destroyers have turned up here from Rectimus Prime. And they have done quite happily for the navy that used to belong to Macedon and is currently sinking to the bottom of the channel. Right hand side navy is very much in command here from Macedon. Lots of red in the water. There's torpedo bombers trying to do their thing, but there's a bunch of destroyers and they're going to have grand old times against large groups of aircraft, which would be a problem. And this is what the issue is when you get large bands of Seraphim or even UBF destroyers. Those cruise missiles come flying on over and they will just obliterate any undefended item as well as the reclaim, because as the extra missiles land they will destroy the masses sitting there. There's, well, there is some TMD over this side, but not quite enough to handle all of the missiles, and I think we're about to see this. There we go, some missiles are getting through that. T2RT will go down. It's going to hold for a while and maybe get some work done, but in the end, not quite enough. Hello, Nothers, and what are they going for? Well, what they're going for is flak there. Oh, they stopped. They reiterated target, but hello, is this Microphone gets a shield up maybe just in the nick of time. Nothers do come over here, but now there's nothing for them to target, and instead they're going to get picked up by flak, by cruisers, and they don't really have a target. Maybe they should have just gone for the T2 naval factory in the first instance when they had a whole lot more of them, but it doesn't matter. No target for them and no joy, and I don't think they killed a single thing. A single thing. They could have had Microphone. If they killed him, then the bombs would have destroyed the commander. Maybe the T3 he's now under 4 shields, so he's totally paranoid about snipes, and well, with justification, because they just tried to snipe him. It did not work. Air grid is going over here from Bliss. He now has 1, 2, 3, 4 T3 air factories producing. Compare that to the other team. We have 1 T3 air factory there. We have an upgrading T3 air factory, and what's this? No, that's just a pattern. I thought it might have been something else, but no. So Bliss should be able to hold the air once he gets his air grid going. Gets his ASCFs in, but he's building a lot of torpedo bombers at this stage because he needs them to try and contend with the Navy that is currently wrecking base. Like, literally wrecking base. This is Super Uber, and he's trying to deal with attack missile spam coming from those cruisers. He's got volcanoes as well as Yathyssus. Sorry, Yathysitha. But it's just not quite enough, and those missiles are getting through every time the shield drops, and he's run out of everything. Look at those attack missiles land, the shields drop. This one might go back up just in time, but it's not going to last long. How many cruisers are there? 10 cruisers here spamming out those attack launchers. I think if my math remembers correctly, oh dear, and you see what happens. The attack missiles come and they just keep impacting on the site where the mass was, and it's all gone. I think from memory needs 2 attack defense per cruiser to actually stop them. So he's going to need like 20 TMD to try and stop that, which is ridiculous. And left hand side again. Well, I say again, but more like finally. This has been Erectimus now Darien. They have managed to hold and they have managed to push, and this is now an issue for Macedon. He wants to keep these going. The mark would be good, but that's a strat bomber. Strat bomber says go away. I'm going to obliterate that destroyer, but then it dies a horrible death owing to a whole lot of cruisers. So one strat for one ship, not sure it was actually worth it, and now the Navy is all up in Macedon's doorstep. Question is, what can you do from here? Mass torpedo bombers, and they are going for the cruisers. They are absolutely going for now. These are Seraphim cruisers though, so they have flak. So this big group of torpedo bombers are not likely to get a second pass. Look at the numbers drop out of the sky. Yes, they're getting their payloads out, but they are getting hammered. Nice big group, lots of flak, and there's now 3 cruisers left. Going to come back for a second pass. They should be able to take out one more. There we go. But still a couple of cruisers left, and that, well, it got rid of the cruisers, but there's more coming. More cruisers coming, and it feels like problems. Over the side, again, more cruisers coming through, although these are Cybern cruisers, so not so bad. They don't have the attack missiles, but there's really no kind of cliff on the beach here. It's pretty much flat, and all that firepower is just going to come steaming on in to do some extra damage over here. So Macedon has held out as long as he could in a 2 versus 1 situation, but it just has eventually overtaken him, and his base is now under complete threat. Only a moment before the shield drops, and he's going to start losing mixers, he's going to start losing eco, and he's going to be having a bad time. ACFs come streaming in to kill off a transport just because they can, and then they run away. A strange decision, but there's enough of them to be a threat. Over here, what's going on? This is PR in the air game, needing a lot of T2 air factories, trying to pop out those. There we go. Got a bunch of Nothers. Maybe he's thinking about doing another snipe. Plenty of torpedo bombers there, but over on this side, hello. This is Hover coming over. Rectimus Prime sending in some Auroras, and Macedon just going, you know what? No. And he's just walking his comm up to them. He's not going to get out of this. Do that with the Navy as well. He's going to kill off a bunch of units, and that is Macedon pretty much doing the last thing he can really do, and murder units by suicide. Macedon goes out of the game first, knock out at 30-minute mark. Very much under the cosh there, and hello, this has been a drop. There's the dead transport. Harbingers on the ground helping destroy stuff there. That is a Control K out from Bliss. He's like, that's it, my base is done. There's Navy on my doorstep, cruisers are hammering out, I've got Harbingers in my face. They are killing off everything else, which leads us down to just PR and Super Uber. Which is, what can these guys do? How long can they hold on for? And the answer is, let's find out. So PR is, he's popping out solid scouts. Maybe he's looking for something. I don't think he's going to get any joy out of this though. There's so many cruisers, there's so much anti-air, and then there is this small blob of ASFs available for Eldarian. They can go and do something. Looks like the torpedo bombers decided to try and do something, but there's just so many cruisers. They get swatted out. I think they killed 1-2 cruisers. And that's the end of that. PR says, see you in the next one. Control cases, bows out. That is the end of it for him. And this basically just leaves Super Uber, the lowest rated player in the game, seeing how long it can take him. So 31 minutes, and well, all of this is going to be tormented and destroyed. He's got some torpedo bombers, he's got some ASFs, but he's got destroyers, those old Cybern Spidey destroyers. Actually, more like beetles, aren't they? Spiders have 6 legs, so these are more like beetles. Hopping along over the land, making stuff dead. Just had fun. We have 12 kills for that guy, 19 kills for that guy, and 12 kills for that guy as well. Plenty of stuff destroyed by those guys. And again, there wasn't much to their defense. The commander could have overcharged them. And that would have been the end of them, but yeah, no, they're definitely beetles. Just beetle-like insects. Absolutely. Right, goodbye to that sub, which was probably the last thing that was doing any kind of damage, but I guess he can feel a little better about himself for getting a submarine. Let's go. There's going to be a heavy torpedo bomber somewhere. Got that, some more subs over that front. And, yep, there we go, the big bank of TMD. If we're going to spam TMD, this is the wrong type to spam. Aeon TMD, it's good to have a couple around, but yeah, they're not the best for it. Yeah, so insects have 6 legs, use muscles. Spiders have basically hydraulic legs. They expand them by pushing fluid into them, which is why when a spider dies, it stops being able to do that, and the legs curl up because there's no longer any pressure to keep them straight. So, yeah, if you didn't know that, that's something you know about spiders. They have hydraulic legs, essentially. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's just the ease of how to describe it. Hydraulic. Alright, not much longer, I feel like. Superubers, he's holding on. He's holding on as best he can. There's still some Navy coming in. Cruisers are still trying to do a job. He's got some T2PD, which is knocking off the frigates that are coming up to harass this land spot. You know, maybe they can kill off some of the TMD, let some of those missiles come through. Still got some torpedo bombers doing their thing, and the frigates are dying to all of these. I wonder when they're going to be redirected, but that is fine. Along comes the ground forces. These Auroras are just picking their way slowly through all of these air factories, and the T3 air factory in particular is having a bad time thanks to a couple of Zoes, but he's still in it for now. What's that there? Trying to do restorers. Alright, restorers. I get it. But now there's destroyers off the coast. Got some Nexus classes and thick bus. He has his It is the last stand for Superuber. He's doing his best, but he's... yeah, it's pretty much foregone conclusion. It's just a matter of time before he dies. There's just far too much going on. There's a slight eco disparity between the two teams. Just a small one. And yeah, I'm sure we're going to see that angry shadow of donuts coming over. Right, the restorer is there and it is trying to do a job, but there's a bunch of cruisers and Aeon cruisers, so they have long range missiles, anti-air missiles, to take that restorer down. It has gone out of the picture. And, well, what's going to happen first? Superubers here. There's a bunch of Harbingers, though they have stopped. They could keep moving, but there's the shadow. And here comes the Tsar. Nice knowing you, Superuber. Sorch.